Welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, as we take an inside look at Nicholls State University hoops. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, the official sports medicine provider of Nicholls Athletics. Colonel Basketball Weekly is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. Hello and welcome to this week's program. The Nicholls men's basketball team went into last week on the heels of back-to-back second-half letdowns against Lamar and Abilene Christian. The Red and Gray had led by at least 9 points in each, only to fall. A frustrated head coach, J.P. Piper, suspended his leading scorer, Amin Torres, and benched his starting point guard, Richie Lewis, for last Tuesday's game against Houston Baptist. It was sink or swim for many of the team's newcomers who had seen very limited minutes throughout the year. Let's see how they responded. Colonels and Huskies at Stopher Gym in Thibodaux. Opening minute of play, TJ Carpenter post feed to Sam McBeth. He kicks it out to fellow Aussie 6'10" Liam Thomas. Liam drains a three. Nicholls goes 3 of 7 from downtown in the first half. Freshman point guard Zach Young, with his first career start, barely played all year, picks up the assist as McBeth finishes at the rim. No turnovers all game for Young. He was big. McBeth finished with 11 points. Colonels open up a double-digit lead just 8 minutes in. Here it's Young to Quentin Thomas. QT hits from downtown. Breakout performance for the freshman. HBU finally fights back, going on a 15-4 run. Colter Lasher with the drive. He led the Huskies with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Colonel lead eventually whittled down to a point. But how about this play coming out of a timeout in the final minute of the half? The inbounds to Young, over to Quentin Thomas, a reversal, and a backdoor alley-oop. Perfect from TJ Carpenter to Kangaroo Q. What a way to go into the half. Colonel's up 33-27. We come back out for the second half, and QT really begins to make his mark. Dribble penetration and the foul here. The free throw puts Nicholls up 7. Thomas with a game and career high 18 points. He wasn't even close to being done, and neither was HBU here. Top key coming up, Anthony Odunzi sets up Tyler Russell for the three. That was the only free ball for the Huskies all night in 9 attempts, but it brought them back within a point with 14 minutes to go. They proceed to grab their first lead at the midway mark of the half. Marcel Smith picks off the pass and leads a fast break. Alex Fountain can't finish, but Smith cleans it up. This is a 15-5 run. Nicholls would end up trailing by 5 with 4.5 to play. They close the gap to 1, and then it's Sam McBeth with a bucket and foul. Colonel's in front, 58-57 with a minute to go. That bench was pumped. 40 seconds left. It's Quentin Thomas with a paint leaner. Nicholls ahead by 3. QT went 6 of 8 from the field. 3 rebounds, 3 blocks, a steal, and 2 assists. Boy, did the Colonels need something to lift their spirits. Thomas would then block a shot and get fouled. He missed the first free throw. Another chance to ice it. Got it. Colonels win 61-57. 5th consecutive win for Nicholls against HBU. Young and walk-on freshman Marquise Nelson ran the offense, playing a combined 33 minutes. They had played a total of 31 minutes all year. Unreal. Only 1 turnover between them. First Southland win of the year for the Red and Gray. Now the Colonels would turn around on Saturday and play host to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The Islanders were the upstarts of the league last year, engineering one of the biggest turnarounds in the nation. They entered this year as a strong contender for a Southland title. Back to Stopher Gym. Big man Liam Thomas was in foul trouble early, and often his fellow Aussie Sam McBeth would have to take over. After absorbing an intentional foul in the first minute, McBeth was fired up. He finishes here after the initial miss. Nicholls up 6-4. We had 5 lead changes and 3 ties in the opening 7 minutes. Colonels go up 4 as Rashawn Thomas saves the ball to Jadante Fry. JD with an 11-point performance. Nicholls never led this one by more than 5. This one went back and forth. 6-minute mark of the first half, Brandon Pye hits the jumper from the wing. Pye was coming off a career-high 21 points against McNeese. Another big game for him here. Nicholls gets the advantage back going into the half. Zach Young can't put it through, but fellow freshman Marquise Nelson scores his first collegiate bucket off the offensive board. Nicholls up by 1 at the intermission despite 12 turnovers. Youngsters getting it done again in the second half. Zach Young with the drive and the kiss off the glass. His first field goal as a Colonel. Nicholls up 42-40. Colonels cooled off though, shooting just 32% in the second half. Corpus goes on a 12-4 run here. Their best player, John Jordan, in transition, the paint jumper and the foul. Islanders up 8 with about 9 minutes to go. Jordan with a team high 18 points. Islander big man Rashawn Thomas, a wrecking ball. He and McBeth battled all day. Thomas with 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. The deficit for Nicholls is 6 points with under 5 to play. But the Colonels rally. McBeth somehow flips this one up and in. Double-double for Sam, his 4th of the year, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Nicholls is within 2 with a $1.30 remaining. On the other hand, though, Pye drains a monster 3 to extend the Islander advantage to 5. Pye with 16 points. That bucket was a killer. Colonels didn't help themselves, missing 6 free throws in the second half, including 3 in the final minute. They still had a chance to tie it. Great defense, though, by Jordan. Amin Torres doesn't get a clean look. His foot was on the line anyway. Corpus escapes with a 69-66 win. Nicholls killed Corpus on the boards. It just wasn't enough, and the Colonels, unfortunately, unable to come out a winner. Head coach J.P. Piper wasn't happy with the result, but he knows his guys are going in the right direction.
Pleased with the progress of the team. Got a win against Houston Baptist, came up a little bit short against a very good Corpus Christi team, but really pleased with the way we competed, the energy that we put into trying to defend. I thought our offensive execution was good. We got to do a better job of finishing the plays. We got the shots we wanted. We just didn't make the shots. But I see great growth and progress with this team, and I'm excited to continue to see that.
We saw a lot of fresh faces getting big minutes they hadn't gotten before. Quentin Thomas, Zach Young, Marquise Nelson. How do you think they fared?
I think they're faring well, actually better than expected. They'll continue to get minutes. I think it makes us a better team. It has helped bring the team together. Those guys bring some energy and toughness to the floor that is forcing some of the more skilled players to re-examine how hard they're playing and how much they're giving to the team effort of defending. So I think it's been a real positive for us.
Yeah, we look back to the Troy game. You felt you had made some progress and then kind of slipped back again. Now you feel like, again, you've made some progress. How do you keep this forward momentum going?
Well, honestly, it has more to do with them than it has to do with me. The one constant in the last 11 years has been what I want done. The variable has been the team's willingness to do it. Not much has changed for me over the years. Some teams buy in and do what you ask them to do, and they find success. Others kind of fight you. We've got more talent than we've ever had, and with that comes guys that feel like, they know some things about the game, and so it's a fine balance we have to maintain between allowing these more talented players some freedom, yet still demanding that they play within a system. So that's kind of what we're struggling with. But I think it's a good, healthy process, and I think it's moving in the right direction. We seem committed to playing defense. I think that gives us a chance every night, and I think that's going to continue. They want to guard now. I wouldn't have told you that a month ago. I was making them guard. They want to guard you now. So that's powerful. That's big. I think that lays the groundwork for success, not just the remainder of this season, but going into next year as well.
We saw a bruising battle against Corpus Christi this past Saturday. Literally, Sam McBeth bloodied as he walked off the floor. It showed, though, your team's not going to back down from those type of scenarios.
No way. And I think Corpus is a heavyweight in our league. We have another heavyweight coming up with Sam Houston. And we're not going to back away. We've talked about that. We talk about that in the locker room. We talk about it in practice. We take great pride in who we are and what it means to be a Colonel. And that means we're going to scrap and fight, and we're not going to bow to anyone in this league. And so I expect that to continue. And as we get better and better at what we do, I think we can make some noise.
We'll talk to you again next week, Coach. In the meantime, best of luck to you.
Thanks, Mike.
The head coach of the Colonels, J.P. Piper, folks. We'll be back with much more coming up on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, in just a moment.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that.
So what's with the tag?
Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
You know you don't have to wait for a sale
I can shop any day.
and get our best price every day. Rouse's. You're either local or you're not.
Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Let's take a look at the Southland Conference standings on the men's side entering this week. Sam Houston State and Stephen F. Austin still undefeated in league play. The Lumberjacks have won 13 straight overall. Abilene Christian and Corpus Christi are a game out. McNeese State and Central Arkansas are still in search of their first league wins. The Bears haven't won a game, period. Well, we knew heading into the season that the Nicholls men's basketball team would be a work in progress. The coaching staff has had their hands full as they try to build rapport with the players and each other. Here's Beatrice Beard.
It's been a season of transition for the Nicholls men's basketball team. Not only did they welcome 7 new players into the fold, but the coaching personnel has undergone changes as well. The addition of the 2 new assistants has changed the dynamic of the staff.
Assistant coaches David Amata and Chris DeFelice are the 2 most recent additions to the squad. While Amata joined the team in late August, a mid-season opportunity brought DeFelice on board. With both holding experience at the college level, the move to Nicholls was easy with the leadership of veteran coaches, including head coach J.P. Piper.
He's a very open communicator. His team. Anytime you have this sort of leadership, it's easy to work in that environment. He lets us coach as assistants. He lets the players deal with us deal with them. It's a very open environment, definitely.
The outside experience and views that the new coaches bring will be beneficial to the team in more ways than one.
If you're able to work several jobs, there's always something new, possibly, that you learn at your other jobs with different coaches because you are operating in a different system. So anytime that you can get new ideas within your program, helps.
Not only do the differing perspectives of the coaches serve as an asset, but their diverse personalities also help in complementing one another.
We all come from very different backgrounds, and so bringing the knowledge that comes with that experience from those different backgrounds together, kind of picking out the best parts and using that in our program, I think is very beneficial.
The combination of strengths from each coach allows them to execute as a whole, as evidenced in the aftermath of last Tuesday's win over Houston Baptist.
Coach talks about having a plan, and we try to execute the plan as a staff the same way we ask the players to. And you saw it last night. We played well, and it was just getting to the floor. We work on in practice every day. It's no different than what we're doing in recruiting, identifying kids in a certain way, or identifying needs or talent, or identifying ways to help the program. And it's just executing that plan.
As with the players, it's easier for the coaches' plan to come together when their chemistry is so evident.
I think they work very well together. They all have different gifts and talents, different strengths, but they blend well together. They like one another. They get along, and I really enjoy the camaraderie.
DeFelice's impact has already been felt as the team's defense has improved noticeably since his arrival. Meanwhile, time will tell whether if Amata, who helped recruit and coach 18 eventual Division I players at Impact Academy in Las Vegas, can yield similar successful results here at Nicholls. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Beatrice Beard.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Well, the Nicholls women's basketball team entered Thursday night's matchup with Sam Houston State in search of their 3rd straight win. After getting over the initial shock at the loss of star player Imani White to a hip injury, Nicholls had won back-to-back Southland games on the strength of outstanding defense and a balanced offense. To Stouffer Gym we go. Nicholls looking for revenge after a Sam Houston buzzer beater in Huntsville last year. First minute, Jenny Nash forces a turnover and winds up cashing in. Nicholls started the week 5th in the nation in steals per game, averaging nearly 13 a night. This was all Nicholls in the early going. Shea Arnick picks off the entry pass here and runs the floor. Tia Charles with the helper. It's 10-0 Colonels. Arnick scored 11 points, all of them coming in the first half. Midway mark of the stanza. Nash would hit from the corner coming up here. 22-9 the score. Nash with a team high tying 15 points, including 3 bonus balls, also led the club with 7 boards. But the Colonels go without a point for almost 4 minutes, and Sam Houston starts chipping away. They stay in this one on the strength of a career-high 31 points from Shanice Robertson. Good ball movement here, and Robertson knocks down the outside shot. She hit all 4 of her team's 3-pointers. She drains another one from the corner here in the final minute, and the Bearcats trail by just 5 at the break. Sam Houston ends the first on an 8-2 run. They open up the second half with an 8-0 spurt. Strong finish by Sandra Guillory, who registered 10 points and 8 rebounds off the bench. We have ourselves a 1-point affair with 19 minutes to go. 60 seconds later, Taylor Dorsey telegraphs the pass. The fast break bucket puts Nicholls behind for the first time all night. Colonels had to overcome 22 turnovers. Dorsey had a well-rounded game, 13 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. After going down by 3, the Colonels counter with a 10-2 run. Taylor Morrison off the mark on the contested paint jumper, but Akaya Gray is there. Nicholls with 17 offensive rebounds. Gray scored all 15 of her points after halftime. The Bearcats tied the game 4 times in the second half. Robertson striking again from the corner to square it at 55 with 6 minutes to go. We were tied again at 57. But they never play from ahead again. Gray with a kick out to Veronica Ryan. The drive and the dish back to Gray. Nicholls up 61-58. Ryan with 5 assists, only 1 turnover. It would come down to the final shot for the second straight meeting. This time there would be no miracle for Sam Houston. Robertson misses at the buzzer. Colonels win 67-64. The victory snapped a 6-game losing streak in the series against Sam, which was the Colonels' longest against any league opponent. Nicholls finished with double-figure steals for the 8th straight game. They might have won this thing at the line. The Colonels went 14 of 18 from the stripe. The Cats just 14 of 29. Well, the Colonels would get some more good news as Imani White was cleared to play Saturday against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. White, an all-Southland first-team guard, had missed 11 straight games with a hip injury. Akaya Gray would pick up right where she left off. 3 minutes in, she knocks down one from the lane. Gray scored in double figures again, one of 3 Colonels to do so. Kamisha Davis, though, had the biggest day of anyone. The Islander hits from the corner. Davis with a double-double, 12 points, 11 boards. Corpus went 6 of 14 from downtown. Moments later, Olivia Foudy, able to break out of the trap, finds Shea Weaver in the same spot. The bonus ball, Islanders up 8-7. Weaver went 7 of 11 from the field, scoring 16 points. She also registered 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Nicholls goes on a 10-0 run, though. White, seeing her first action since Thanksgiving weekend, hit a couple of buckets during that big stretch. Imani played 18 minutes, scored 7 points on 3 of 11 shooting. The Islanders, though, held Nicholls to just 2 points over the final 9 minutes. Colonels brought their turnovers, or their turnovers really brought them down in this one. Islanders cash in. Foudy with the baseline J off the dish from Weaver. That cut the Colonel lead down to 4. Foudy had a game-high 20 points. AMCC outshot Nicholls 50% to 29 from the field in the first half. Hope Pulowski finally stops the bleeding, but the red and gray head into the locker room trailing 28-24. Unfortunately, the Islanders opened the wound right back up, scoring the first 6 points in the second half to cap a 22-2 run. Gray scores inside to make it 34-26 with 18 minutes left. Corpus just wasn't giving much ground. They shot 57% after the intermission. The 3-ball from Foudy extends the deficit to double digits. Nicholls would get back-to-back buckets inside by Gray and Marina Lilly to come within 6 at 39-33. Marina with a tough finish here. She scored a team-high dozen off the bench. However, Corpus Christi answered quickly with an 8-0 run. From then on, Nicholls never came closer than 12 points, trailing by as many as 24 as they suffered their second home loss of the year. Davis with the bonus ball to put it away. So here are the Southland Conference standings through this past weekend. Northwestern State and Lamar reign supreme. Stephen F. Austin has won 4 straight. They're right in the mix. After a strong start, Central Arkansas has dropped 3 in a row. Houston Baptist had a strong week. New Orleans is still looking for a league victory. Now we caught up with Nicholls head coach Doobie Plaisance to get her thoughts on the past week.
Well, started off well. Had a real big win against Sam. Great team effort. Sam made some runs on us, and we sustained our success simply by just sticking to the scout on defense. Against Corpus, we jumped out on Corpus, but we allowed them to creep back in, and we fell off on the details, and that's what really hurt us down the line on Corpus. But, you know, we have regrouped, and we're coming back, and we're looking forward to a great outing against Northwestern.
Yeah, the Lady Demons have had your number the last year and a half. They're in first place right now, a golden opportunity to go in there and shake up the conference hunt.
Well, it's like what we're telling them. We feel like we're in a great position turning around after Saturday to go play Northwestern, because what better than play the #1 team in the conference? Now, everything's back to square one again. We go in there, we have a great outing, we can redefine where we are, who we are, and all that other kind of good stuff. So we're fired up about going down there, and we feel like to this point we're prepared and we're ready.
You have Amani White back now. She played limited minutes on Saturday. How do you work her back into a more steady rotation here?
That in and of itself also, sort of with what she's going through, is a bit of a process. You know, right now we're playing her more off the ball, only because of, Tia and Veronica with all the reps on the ball. And that's sort of how we're going to migrate her back in. But I know as a whole, obviously the team is fired up. And for me, it's not even about a coach. It's more like my biological children call me Coach Mom. So this is my mom piece. I'm just glad she's back on the floor with a basketball in her element, doing what she deserves to do. So it's sort of the mom in me. The endearment to see her out there is awesome.
Coach, we want to wish you the best of luck on the road this week. We'll talk to you again coming up next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
The head coach of the Colonels, Doobie Plaisance. Folks, we'll be back with more Colonel Basketball Weekly presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional right after this. Folks, while Colonel Hoops is in full swing, Nicholls Nation is still buzzing about the new man in charge of the football program. Here's Joanna Ducree.
The Colonel football program hit a low point in 2014, getting outscored by an average of 37 points as the squad failed to register a win for just the second time in school history. The first time it happened, 20 years ago, a new coaching staff was brought in and led the Red and Gray to the biggest turnaround in FCS history. Now, things have come full circle, as a member of that staff has come back to turn things around again. Veteran Louisiana coach Tim Rebowe has returned to Nicholls as the program's leader after 2 decades of success around the state. Rebowe, who was the assistant head coach at Louisiana Lafayette and an assistant coach at Nicholls for 6 years, was announced as the new head coach in November and officially took the reins this month.
Been a whirlwind, man. This week has been getting all the coaches on board, get back after the holidays and just getting through the paperwork, and then getting hot and heavy into recruiting. We've been in a lot of recruiting meetings, watching a lot of film. It was a dead period over this week because of the national convention. So now it opens back up tomorrow. We'll hit the road, get those guys out on the road, and also we have our first recruiting visit this weekend where we have 15 student athletes coming in to visit campus and see if we can make them be a colonel.
Working underneath Mark Hudspeth at UL Lafayette, Rebo helped lead the Raging Cajuns to 4 consecutive New Orleans Bowl wins. In addition to his extensive collegiate experience, Rebo's ability to recruit should help the Colonel Football Club the most.
We have an idea in our mind of what we need, how many linebackers we need, how many DBs we need, but also when it comes down to it, if you have a really, really good one that can fit into your program, we talked about that a lot, he's got to be able to fit, not just because he might be the top recruit, but if he can fit into your program and what you're doing, we'll definitely take a look at that. Got to get out there, we got to get out in the public, been to different events and just going to dinner, trying to meet people, getting out in Houma. I went to the Houma Chamber of Commerce banquet last night. Just a lot of things going on, but the reception has been good. The staff is working hard, and look, just because I get out on the road and go do interviews and stuff like that, that staff is still in here grinding and getting it done.
Rebo and his staff have a lot of work ahead of them as they try to rebuild and restore hope in the Nicholls football program this upcoming season. Part of that involved meeting with University President Bruce Murphy and the faculty.
I would say what Dr. Murphy said this morning in the meeting with the faculty is certain things we're doing is it's baby steps. You just got to get out. You got to spread the word that good things are happening at Nicholls, which they have a lot of things going on here, but in the football program, good things are going to happen. It will take a little time. I mean, I'm not going to say how many wins you're going to have next year, but the reception has been good, and people know sometimes change. Some people don't like change, and this thing, we're hoping the change is going to be a good thing. Give us time, get our support. I'd like to tell everybody, hey, we're welcome. Our doors are welcome. Come by and come see Nicholls State football.
The Colonels hope to take a big step forward in their hunt for the first Southland title in a decade. As Rebo unveils his first recruiting class on Wednesday, February 4th, he's already received a number of verbal commitments from highly touted players, a sign that his mission to reemerge Nicholls football is well underway. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Joanna Ducree.
Thank you very much, Joanna. We'll be right back.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for.
At People's Health, we know that when it comes to health, what works is teamwork. Each People's Health Plan member has a team of talented professionals working together to coordinate care so our members can do what they love to do.
That's what we do. We're here for you with People's Health.
People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Folks, time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. This week, it's Sam Macbeth. The redshirt junior averaged 14.5 points, 7.5 boards, and 2 assists, shooting 56% from the field. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. We'll talk to you again next week. Today's show has been presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, the official sports medicine provider of Nicholls Athletics. This program has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.